Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are talking Illuvium and the free-to-play side of it and the earning capacity. I have some thoughts on it. Now, everything that I do say is obviously conditional on the game's launch. It hasn't launched. I did have an interview with Kieran a couple days ago, and he confirmed some of the things, but keep in mind, things do change before a launch. But I just wanted to let those, because I find a lot of the crypto gaming space at the moment is people saying make a bag, invest in this is the general gist. And I'm not a crypto expert by any means, but I do love games and I know the kind of games I love. And what I'm trying to look for on this channel is crypto gaming from a gaming perspective and games that just look purely fun. And if you can make money on the side to do with that game, that's what I'm about. I'm not about putting your life savings into a coin for a game that's going to pump and then die instantly. That's not the kind of stuff I'm going for. So Illuvium is one that has really grabbed me for the free-to-play aspect. When you look at something like Axie, yes, you can get in free-to-play if you get a scholarship, but it leads to a community, like a space in that community where everything you go to is just, can I have a scholarship? Can I have a scholarship? Which I completely get, but it's not enjoyable as a gamer. So we're going to be talking about the free-to-play aspect of Illuvium and some suspicions I have on how you could really earn some money as a free-to-play player. And it's going to be more relevant at the start, kind of like everything supply and demand. I feel like at the start it's going to be most prevalent, but yeah, let's get into it. Oh, and before we do get into it, we did just hit 5,000 subscribers on this new channel. So like I do on my other channel, we're going to do a $100 giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed and leave a comment and you go into the draw. We'll probably just do a PayPal transfer. I'll announce the winner on a community post in about a week's time. So keep an eye out for that. We'll get the winner, and yeah, PayPal's probably the easiest because a lot of my audience from my other channels aren't into crypto. So we're not going to do crypto giveaways yet. But like I said, free to play this game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my PC screen in Paint, and I'm going to show you what my how my mind works on this one. But big shout out to Alex Becker, because I watched him do this type of thing. So I'm going to try the same, except I made the screen black because when I made it white, it was like blinding my face. So big shout out to him. And if you are looking at the investment side of crypto gaming and stuff like that, definitely check out Alex Becker. I'll leave his channel in the description. I just enjoy it. I just think the guy's funny, so I enjoy watching him. I'm not out to make bags, like I said. But with Illuvium, there is a core principle behind it that I think really enables free-to-play players to make some money, and especially if you're playing the game at launch. So basically, from my understanding, and I'll play a clip at the end of this video where I interviewed Kieran about this. But once again, everything gets voted by council, all that sort of stuff. Things may change. But my understanding of it is when the game launches, when we go to the launch, and I suck at writing in Paint, but at launch, everyone's going to come into the game, and there's no pre-sales for Illuvium. There's no, NFT drops, anything like that. All the NFTs, all the characters are going to be dropped in the game. The only thing that might be available before the game launch is the land, which is going to be able to generate, some resources, but not actual alluvials or anything like that. I'll do a whole nother video talking about what we know about land so far. But so at launch, everyone's going to get dumped into the game. This is going to be me. This is you. This is everybody else who gets dumped into the game. Now, to my understanding, there's going to be different zones. Now, say let's call this a tier 0 zone. Let's call this a tier 1 zone, a tier 2 zone, tier 3, and I think tier 5 is currently the highest. So we'll go tier 4, tier 5. So everyone that gets into the launch of the game, all these people, you get the idea. There'll be a lot of them. So they're all going to have to go to tier 0 zone first. Now, tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 zones are going to cost you money to travel there, but they're also going to have correlating alluvials of tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this may change a little bit, but that's the basic principle. And when you get to these zones, you're also going to need shards of that tier to be able to catch the alluvials, which once again, that's going to be another one of the costs in the game. However, in tier 0 zones for tier 0 alluvials, the shards for tier 0s are going to cost no money to queue up. So the whole idea is they want people to be able to experience the game without having to put money in, but it also opens up a way to earn money. So the thing with this is when we get here, tier 0 alluvials, like I said, not going to cost you any money to catch. Now, the thing about this is, due to the fact, and I don't know if there's going to be any way to purchase levels on your alluvials, which I'm hoping there isn't. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. But basically, the principle is to go ahead and fight these tier 1 zones. Like, you're not going to get a whale, unless things change, who can just go, okay, I've got $10,000, I'm going straight to tier 5, because they'll get their ass handed to them because they can't beat those tier 5 alluvials because they're high level, they're stronger, you'll get beaten. So the basic roadmap for most players getting into the game, whether you're free to play or pay to play, even if you're a whale, you should have to go into the tier 0 zone first, learn the game, cure some tier 0 shards, catch some tier 0 alluvials, and then level them up. And once you've got them leveled up, you can progress from the tier 0 zone into the tier 1 zone. And as you battle these tier 1s, then you're going to pay to cure shards, you're going to catch these tier 1 alluvials, you're going to level them up, and then they're going to be stronger than your tier 0s, and you're going to progress into the tier 2 zone, and so on and so forth. And it's a progression. Now, I think the way I understand it, and the whole model of it isn't out yet, so this is a bunch of speculation as well, is that it is going to start getting very expensive to start getting your teams up to being able to defeat these tier 5s and capture them in the tier 5 zones. But basically, everyone at launch has to start at the tier 0. And I just wanted to edit this in. I'm talking specifically about launch at that point when everyone starts from even. Once the game's been out for longer, the market will be established, and we'll touch on that a bit further on. But I just wanted to clarify that when I was editing. So what I think for free-to-play players, which is especially at the launch of the game, is going to be a fantastic opportunity, is on the marketplace. And I asked Kieran this, will alluvials lose their levels when you sell them? And it seems at this stage they will not. So if you're especially a free-to-play player, someone with no money to invest in the game at the launch of the game, and you go straight to this tier 0 zone at the launch of the game and grind your face off and get a bunch of tier 0 alluvials, level them up. The other thing on top of this is, which is another caveat which we'll have to see, is to, at this stage, to get to, you have stages of alluvials. So you have the Ramfire, which is the big dragon type one that's, you know, sort of the mascot, but it's got like its base evolution. It's got the Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, basically. And we're just going to use that analogy for this video. To get a Charmeleon, you have to use 3 Charmanders. To get a Charizard, you have to use 3 Charmeleons, and basically you're basically just scrapping them to make the next version. So it's going to take a lot to actually upgrade them. Now, the Ramfire is a tier 5. So you're not going to be doing it with the Ramfire, but the tier 0s, you could be doing it with them, evolving them and leveling them up and making some very powerful tier 0s. Now, the thing about this is not all the whales are probably going to start at the launch and go grind straight away and, you know, play 10 hours a day, all that sort of stuff. So the free-to-play players who really want to play can go into this tier 0 zone up here and start basically leveling tier 0 alluvials, which then, you know, after 12 hours of launch, play sensibly. Don't lose. Don't become the World of Warcraft episode of South Park, is all I'm saying, okay? Don't become that. But, you know, you work pretty hard in the game. You level up some of these alluvials. You then have the ability to go to the marketplace and list those, like your level 50 tier 0, and we'll put a bracket 0 for tier 0. You can list that on the market. And because it's the launch of the game and all the whales, you know, maybe it wasn't the game launched at night time for them, stuff like that, you can then sell that on a marketplace for a decent cost because there's not much there. There's not much supply of these tier 0s that are leveled up. And that way these whales can jump in, and instead of having to go straight to tier 0 and do a grind that's going to be annoying, they can go straight into the tier 1 zone. And now the way this progresses is for free-to-play players, if you've done that and you've sold this one on the marketplace, that then allows you to have the funds to pay to go into the tier 1 zone, and then you can do that same principle on the tier 1 zone. And then you can go in there and away you go. Now, I'm not too sure on the extensive cost of each zone as you go forward, but that is the basic principle behind it. Now, I think this will last further into the game as well. I feel like once the game's been out for a while, as it gets more popularity, stuff like that, obviously relies on success of the game. But I feel like this will be a market permanently in the game where people who are free to play come in, they level up some alluvials, sell them, and I feel like the sale price will keep getting cheaper as the game gets older because there'll be more people in the game doing the exact same thing. So supply and demand, it's going to go down in cost, but still nonetheless, it's a nice way for free to play players to enter this game and make the money that they need to be able to go into the next zone. You can even look at it like it's not even real money because it's a crypto. So for a lot of people, it's like, for me, when I put money into crypto, it's like, it's gone. That's like currency in a game. That's how I view it. That's me because I'm a weirdo. But you can basically play it like an internal game to itself, and you've never put money in, and it's not like you're spending money. Like, that can be your principle if you just want to play the game. Now, the other side of it is, which was something else I asked him, which could happen, it's not confirmed, but it could happen, is maybe they have tier 0 tournaments where only tier 0 alluvials are allowed. And if you're free to play and you've built up all these tier 0 alluvials, if you've held on to some, you might be able to go into that tournament and win some ILV as prize money. So that is the basic principle that I see for free to play players. And if you're out there, you know, if you're going through a bunch of channels looking for the get rich, make a bag off no money, you're not going to make a bag off of this. It's not to get rich. The idea behind this is for free to play players to be able to continue to progress through the game. And for me, the big thing behind this game is it has shinies as well. So it has rare colorations and holographics of different alluvials. So if you're playing the game lots, you have more chance to actually find those things than people who've just paid money and not found them. And if you get some of those rare ones, we'll have to wait and see what the value of them is going to be interpreted on the market. But then you have some inherent value in by playing a lot, you have that higher chance of finding those things. So there's a lot still unknown about it, but that is the basic principle. And I think if you're a free-to-play player, one, the game just looks like it's going to be great. We're still waiting on the gameplay trailer. We'll have to see how it falls. But from everything I've seen from the game, it looks like it's going to be amazing, which for me is the key part to a game. The game has to be fun. And if the game's fun and you can make a little bit of cash along the way, all the much better. I'm not talking about making bags. I feel like you got to spend a fair bit to make a fair bit. Obviously, there's a 100x world, but if you're watching a video that's telling you this one's going to give you 100x, by the time you see that video, it's probably not going to give you 100x, is my vibe. But hey, I'm not a crypto person. I'm not a financial person. I have zero financial advice to give. I'm just looking at this in terms of fun for free to play, because that's my background in mobile games. So if you guys agree, if you don't agree, let me know your thoughts on Illuvium, on the free-to-play aspect of it. I just think it's really nice to be able to jump into a game free-to-play. But that is going to be it for this one, guys. Oh yeah, if you're still hanging around, I'll play the clip of Kieran so you guys can see what we spoke about as well. The one question I had for you, which I don't know what's going to happen. So with those tier 0 alluvials, you said you've got to have them leveled up to beat tier 1s. When you sell an alluvial, does it hold its levels? Because to me, in my brain, okay, so I'm thinking free-to-play players can jump in, grind their absolute faces off, level up a heap of these tier 0s, sell them leveled up to people coming in, and that is their revenue to actually buy entry and shards to be able to capture tier 1s. So I feel like it is if you're willing to grind your face off, you can actually, as a free-to-play player, come in and actually generate revenue. Even though it's not directly from free to play, you're grinding something, selling it, going to the next stage, you grind a bunch of level 1s, you keep doing the same thing, and it'll take a long time, but it is actually possible to continue to progress without any money invested.
100%.
And just the thought that popped into my head then is like, you guys could do fun things with that, like have different rules on certain tournaments, have like, you know, low prize money tournaments, but just say I have one where like only tier 0s are allowed. And that would be like an open up to everyone to try and, you know what I mean? Even the free to play guys who haven't grinded too far, like you can do fun little stuff like that with like minimal prize money, but at least incentivize. So then it's like, if you are good, you're good and you can then win some prizes and stuff like that.
Just excuse me for a second. I'm just going to write that down.
Yeah, no worries.
tier 0 tournaments. That's a fucking brilliant idea. I love that. 100%, but like, and that's how easy it is, right? Like you think about it, and now can you do that if you have no money put aside? No, of course you can't. You're reliant on big revenues in the game and whatever else like that. we do, as you touched on in the beginning, is we have this ability to portion off this in-game yield and do whatever the council sees fit with it. And yeah, a tier 0 tournament, like that's an awesome idea. Like that, think about how many people would have access. Yeah, no worries.
It'd be like, and like that's the kind of thing where like that's real fun community stuff, because then people all over the community, from the mega whales to the guys who have nothing but have been playing the game just through the enjoyment, like then it's like, no, this is my chance to show you that I can kick your ass.